Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our third Home at Last. I would like to thank you all for coming here today and sharing this wonderful moment with us to hand the keys over to our families. First of all, I'd like to invite Bill Graham, who's chair of the board of the Habitat for Humanity London, to offer greetings and remarks. Bill, will you please come up?
Thank you, Betty. Ladies and gentlemen, Habitat for Humanity provides safe, decent, and affordable housing by giving a hand up and not a handout. We help our families build and buy quality, affordable homes by reducing their barriers to home ownership. We sell our homes with no down payment, no interest mortgages, and geared to income mortgages with payments usually set at 30% or less of the owner's gross income. We partner with our buyers by providing support services and home owner training to assist them in meeting their obligations. And our families are also expected to put in a minimum of 500 hours time to the project. Once settled in their home, our families notice an improvement in their overall family life and their children's school grades and their children's behavior. Habitat for Humanity has provided safe and affordable housing for over 1,800 families across Canada. And today is our 38th home in London. And I'm proud to say that our strategic plan, which we just completed, calls for doubling that number of homes over the next 5 years. So we hope to do the same amount of homes in the next 5 years that we've built in the last 20. We're proud of our staff and especially the sponsors and volunteers who have made this possible. And today we're here to celebrate the completion and dedication of a home for Romeo and Rosalba. I'd like to recognize and thank a few people while I'm up front here. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to the members of our board of directors who are here today, in the persons of Connie Graham, our past president, Kathy Fox, Elizabeth Cormier, Linda Armstrong. Where are you, Linda? Did I miss anybody? These are all folks who work with me on the board of directors, and we have I'd like to make special mention of John General and his working staff who built this home next door. What a beautiful home they've and a beautiful job they've done. Where's John here? Thanks, John. Job well done. We have Lee and Colleen. Once again, I'd like to thank you for all the setup and all the arrangements and the organization. Again, another job well done. Thank you. We have some special guests with us today, most of who will be introduced more formally, but I'd like to welcome Bud Polhill from the City of London. Steve, is Steve here? Don't tell me he missed one. Steve Ortzer. This is our 6th home in Steve's ward. Number 6, he says we're looking after him very well. We have Kathy Shute from Susan Troupe's office. Kathy. And Dale Brown from Ed Holder's office. Thank you for coming, and I would like to also make special mention and thank our project partners for this build. We partnered with CMHC and all the hard work of Judy Binder and her people. Where's Judy? She'll be and the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors, and the president is Jack Lane. Jack. And additional partners who have helped us to make this build possible are the City of London, who actually donated the home, covered the cost of its relocation. This home came from way over in Byron, and we moved it here and renovated it and upgraded it. And we thank the City of London for the home, for the cost of the move and the smooth transition. The City of London's support is absolutely vital in providing affordable home ownership opportunities to families in need. So we thank you, City of London. And last but not least, I'd like to thank TD Canada Trust, who contributed $10,000 to the cost of this home and provided 50 volunteers to assist in the building efforts. TD, and with us today is Paul Way. Where'd Paul go? Paul, thank you, and please thank everyone associated with the build. TD's always been a long-standing supporter of Habitat and have contributed both financially and in terms of manpower every year. Every year they send out these 50 volunteers to help out and build one home or another. So we thank you for your loyal support, TD. I think that covers most of my duties, Betty, but once again I do want to thank CMHC, and I want to thank the Real Estate Board for being our partners. We won a big award about a week ago for the collaborative effort, and we are providing a great home for a family. It's going to be their dream home for many years to come. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks, Bill. I know you were going to try to take my notes. That's why I had to take them back, or we'd all be in trouble. That's the danger of leaving them up here. Now I'd like to introduce Bud Polhill, who is Ward 1 Councillor and the Acton Mayor, to bring greetings from the city.
Well, I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking there's some people downtown would really like to have this tent. So when we're done with it, if we could take it down there, and if you could do a build down there, Jeff, in the park. I'd really like to thank Habitat for Humanity and their board of directors. They do a great job in London. This is, I think, 5 or 6 that I've been at. I've been involved in a couple of them. We helped build the one down on at the John Labatt Center. It was a lot of fun. Jeff helped me put a roof on some people's house one time. So we've got a relationship going here. And I think that if you have those 50 people, I'm going to build a garage in the spring. So, okay. So thank you very much for what you do. And we have Louise Stevens. She's here, and she's our housing person at the City Hall, and she does a great job in her position there. So we really appreciate this, and I'm sure that people will be happy with us, and I'm sure this home will be much happier here than it was in Byron. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bud. It's always good to hear from you. Now we have Kelly Shute. She's Susan Troupé's assistant. Would you please come forward?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to be here to bring greetings and congratulations and remarks on behalf of my boss, Susan Troupé, who's the Member of Parliament for London North Centre, which is the riding that this is in. Susan works very closely, obviously, with the other MPs in the London area, not the least of which, obviously, is our neighbour, Ed Holder, and Dale is kind to be here today, too. They're obviously all up in Ottawa attending their duties at the House of Commons, but she feels these are very important to go to and to be supportive of, and to say specifically congratulations to the family and everybody else that's involved in making dreams like this a reality. It's always happy for me to come to these occasions too. Working in politics, things aren't always smiley and happy, but these events always are, so it's always my pleasure to come to these, because I know that at least for half an hour or so I get to have a real legitimate smile on my face. Community-based partnerships like Home at Last play a vital role in creating opportunities for families and in building stronger communities. That's what makes London such a great city in which to live. And there are many, many individuals and groups that have already been mentioned that deserve major thanks and congratulations for their role and hard work in this. Certainly leadership of the city itself and our city leaders and Councillor Polehill, etc., that are always in support of initiatives like this. Also just want to mention that I think it's really amazing from a green perspective that you've taken a house from another area of the city and not just torn it down and thrown it into landfill, but actually moved it and made it into something that other people can enjoy on a future basis. I think that's really, really great. Congrats also to Jack. Nice to see you again with the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors. I know that you're a massive partner and influence in Home at Last. Good people at CMHC, Judy for all of the staff fundraising and that sort of thing that you do to see these things come to fruition. Paul Way, whom I've met before as well with Canada Trust. Great to see you too. Of course, big congrats to Habitat for Humanity, obviously, Jeff and Bill and Fran and all of the rest of the staff for everything that you do, and congratulations for the Pillar Community Innovation Award that you just won. That's really amazing as well. Finally, and certainly not last but not least, and maybe most importantly today, is congrats to Romeo and Rosalba and family on your new home. As you head into your very first Christmas or holiday season here, I'm sure that it's going to be very happy and very merry, and all the best for a Happy New Year. Thank you again for having me here, and welcome home.
Now I would like to introduce Louise, if you would come forward, please. Louise Stevens. She's the Director of Municipal Housing for the City of London.
Thanks so much, Betty. We've had a pretty exciting day today so far. We spent the morning at the Lamplighter with several of our partners looking at our housing strategy and where we're going next. And of course, Home at Last is a perfect example of a partnership. We have the London St. Thomas Association of Realtors, Canada Mortgage and Housing, Habitat for Humanity, and the City of London. We're very happy to, if we have a house that you need to move, well, I'm sure we can find one. If this is the third Home at Last. I remember the first one, we were in a tent like this and there was a monsoon outside and it was freezing cold and I was soaked from the knees down. and then the next one was much nicer weather, but a different type of home again, where it was where they lifted it up and renovated it, and this one we moved. So Home at Last is pretty innovative, finding different ways to create that new affordable home ownership. So congratulations, Romeo and Rosalba. You're going to enjoy this. I've driven by this lot for 19 years and it was like a tooth gap. Nothing was ever here. So now there's a beautiful home here and a family moving in. So congratulations.
Thanks, Louise. And now I would like to introduce somebody from the London St. Thomas Association of Realtors and the chair of Home at Last. Heather Arnott, would you please come forward?
Welcome and thank you to everyone for turning out for this special ceremony. It's my privilege to chair both the Home at Last Partnership and the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors Quality of Life Task Force, the group that oversees LStar's involvement with the Home at Last. As realtors, we are committed to improving the quality of life in our communities. That means ensuring that everyone, regardless of economic status, has access to safe, decent, and affordable housing. One great way to do that is to give hardworking families a chance to own their own home. Not only is home ownership the dream of most Canadians, it's the bedrock on which our communities are built. It may not be for everybody, but for those families that really want it and are really willing to roll up their sleeves and work for it, that need just a little assistance to help them achieve their dream. For families like that of Romeo Hernandez Gonzalez, Rosalba Lopez, those are the families we put together the Home at Last Partnership for. So Romeo, Rosalba, Pablo, and Gabriel, on behalf of the partnership and the Real Estate Association, I would like to wish you the best in your new home. happy birthday, Betty.
She threatened to do that. She did it. That was on Facebook. I know, that was Facebook at 6 a.m. What's with that? Yeah, I think I forgot to say who I was, didn't I? I'm a stranger to you all. I'm Betty from the London St. Thomas Association of Realtors. Now I'd like to introduce my president, Jack Lane, and he's going to say a few words and he's going to introduce his directors. There, Jack.
This is great to be here today. My only request is maybe the next dedication is September. It's just a little bit warmer, that's all. I will tell you though, it was minus 36 degrees in Edmonton yesterday, so be grateful for that. On behalf of over 1,500 members of the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors, I'd like to echo Heather's welcome. To this, the third dedication to our Habitat for Humanity and HAL and CMHC for our HAL renovation project. That partnership began back in 2005, and I've got to tell you, the excitement hasn't dwindled. It keeps growing, especially when I look at the family who's about to realize their dream of home ownership. So congratulations and welcome to your new home. Every day, realtors in London and St. Thomas and across the country help families buy and sell homes. And we're proud of it because we believe that home ownership matters. It matters for people, it matters for our community, it matters for our country, it builds communities, it strengthens our economy. So we're grateful, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to participate in this worthwhile project. In a recent Ipsos Reid survey, homeowners stated that they feel healthier, they feel happier, they feel more content, they feel more in control of their lives than they did while renting. So we think offering a homeownership opportunity to a family such as the Gonzalez and Lopez family is extremely important. So I apologize for the names, but I welcome you to your new home, and we're happy to be part of it, and thank you all for your support.
I'm going to pick a little bit up for you, Jack. Would our board of directors and our Home at Last group task force, would they all please stand and be recognized? Please. Thank you. He was busy with that very awesome speech. Thank you, Jack. Now I'd like to introduce Judy Binder. Judy Binder is with Canada Mortgage and Housing. Judy?
Yes, I am. Yeah. And you know, speaking of the weather and HAL, I think every HAL event has either been raining or snowy or cold. So this is good luck. This is good fortune for you, Romeo and Rosalba. So today marks the celebration of a family, Romeo and Rosalba and Gabrielle, who will be accepting the keys to a house that's been undergoing surgery for several months now. And I'm thinking about the house specifically, and if this house could talk, it would be probably saying something like, I thought I was in for a facelift, but I got a whole new body instead. So I'm sure the house is as happy as this family is. This house had its own incredible journey. It's been uprooted from its foundation and rooted in a new place, in a new community. It is truly home at last. The keys to this house also unlock the door to a partnership between London St. Thomas Association of Realtors, Habitat for Humanity, the City of London, and Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. We as partners come from different places and indeed even different cities, but this partnership shares one goal in common, and that's to assist you, Romeo, Rosalba, and Gabrielle, to reach your dream of home ownership. Romeo and Rosalba, you will make this house a home, and you'll build memories here. You'll build family memories, and you will build community memories as well. Home ownership comes with some wonderful experiences: cutting grass and shoveling snow and cleaning windows and maintenance. So to guide you along your journey, we will be leaving you with a CMHC homeowner manual to help you protect your investments. So on behalf of CMHC, we wish you a wonderful life in your new home. Thank you. And here is the manual. Do you want to come up and Rosalba, he's accepting the manual. This means he does the work. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thanks, Judy. Now I'd like to introduce Paul Way, Vice President of TT Waterhouse, to say a few words.
Thank you. I'm really pleased to be here on behalf of TD Bank Financial Group today. You know, as the speakers were speaking, I was thinking about where we're standing right here in Romeo and Rosalba. I think the one thing I can be certain is before Christmas you'll be shoveling this driveway right here. So this spot to the side for cars. Welcome to your new home. We're just, TD Bank Financial Group is just so pleased to be part of Habitat for Humanity. We've had a long relationship with them. One of the interesting things as one of the largest private employers in town is we really do believe in giving back to the community, evidenced very much by the fact that we have 50 volunteers come out every year to the Habitat builds. One of the interesting notes a lot of people don't know is we have so many volunteers that want to come out for the build that we actually have to hold a lottery system internally to get employees to have the chance or the opportunity to come out and work, and we probably could bring twice as many out. So it's I think I just committed to Connie. I should know better. Anyway, thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this organization and to partner with you in the community of London. And welcome to Roseo and Rosalba in your new home and many years of happiness. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Paul. Now I'd like to introduce Jeff Duncan, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you. This is somebody's leaving. Nina and the group from South, if you can hear me, thank you. Wave. That nice lady there set up a program last year. I'm going to change my speech because I want to get it before she takes off. She came and approached us and said, we want to help do homes and things like that, and I don't have a problem like this in my school, and I want to do it, and she did it. She talked her principal, the school board, everybody into letting her take students away and help learn how to build houses. And they've done tile work in here. They've helped do stuff on the Highbury. They worked on 3 projects last year, and she goes way out of her way. So she had to have her kids back by 2:45, so she had to take off. So anyways, that's Nina in the South School. So anyways, thanks everybody for coming. It's awesome to have you all here today. We gathered on Sunday as well and dedicated our project on Highbury, which is our Libro Youth Build, and it was a big crowd as well. So it's heartwarming to all of us, the partners and the staff and the directors and that, to have everybody here. So thank you very much. You know, you've heard, I think, almost every one of us, and you're not going to go to too many things that you have this many speakers, but every one of us have talked about partnership, and it's just so special that we were able to put this together over the last couple of years and work on it together, the HAL project, the Home at Last, and it's a very special thing. We did get an award last week from the Pillar Awards, and I don't know if anybody's here from Pillar, but yay Pillar, and all the supporters of the Volunteer Network in London, because it's a phenomenal thing. Partnerships like this, where everybody's got a say and works on it, is like a marriage, and it's a challenging thing to put together, but to put it together, to get recognized. And Bill Graham and I were in Toronto last week at a leadership conference for Habitat Canada, and they recognized us on the stage there, that we'd won the award here locally with our partners and amongst 100 of our peers. So it was pretty neat to see that happen. Anyways, I thank all the presenters that have been up here, and I really thank, I don't think CMHC got the appropriate credit for putting this lovely tent around us and actually putting some heat. Actually, Judy's the only one getting heat, I think, but, you know, the cake, the whole 9 yards. Every time we do something in this partnership, they really bring a lot extra to the table, including the sound guy and everything else. So I really appreciate you dressing this up a little more than a Habitat one would be. Well, folks, you're almost there. Another 3 or 4 days, I think. The moving van's coming or something. I don't know. We've got heat in the house now, too, so that's probably a good thing. So, anyways, I wanted to, there's a couple of traditions in Habitat before I say a couple more words, but one of them is Habitat's roots are in the Christian ministry, and it's ecumenical. Started in the southern states 35 years ago, and we never want to lose sight of our roots. We build for all cultures, all creeds, all religions in the world, all over the world. You know, in fact, over 100 countries, and you know, I think last count was 1 million something families. Like, it's just absolutely phenomenal, and what has happened in the last 35 years since Millard Fuller and his wife decided they wanted to get this little thing going, and they started on the floor of a chicken coop in a barn in Americus, Georgia, and now you've got millions of people served, in London 38, and in Canada over 2,000 families served as of this year. So it's pretty phenomenal stuff that's happened. So our tradition has always been that we do a non-denominational greeting, so our blessing for the house. And having a little bit of Irish and Scottish heritage in me, you always got to bless a house when you move into it. So here we go, folks. If everybody could, this is for you more than anything. So may love and laughter light your days and warm your heart and home. May good and faithful friends be yours wherever you may roam. May peace and plenty bless your world with joy that long endures. May all life's passing seasons bring the best to you and yours. So all the best of your family. Okay. And the second thing I want to say, because I got to say this, because I never got to meet the fella. I came to Habitat in 2009. He passed away 3 months before I came in, and he's our founder, Millard Fuller. And he said, his most famous quote is, "Everyone who gets sleepy at night should have a simple, decent place to lay their heads on terms that they can afford to pay." And hopefully we've accomplished that for you folks. So anyways, future plans. Bill talked a little bit about our growth plans in London here. We're getting pretty aggressive, and we got a nod at the meeting last week that our little plan that we have to take over this part of southwestern Ontario is going to go forward. So Habitat London is probably by the first of the year going to be renaming itself and recasting itself to serve Oxford, Elgin, and Middlesex County. And so we're going to expand beyond our borders. So we sit around and do that ooh-ha-ha stuff up there, but it was really great to see. Those are unserved areas, and there's a real need to do that. There are thousands of families. We talked in Toronto last week that there's 1.3 million families, even with all the good work our governments do, we're doing, other nonprofit housing providers are doing, but 1.3 million people living in substandard housing in this country still. And so we've got a lot of work to do, and I think every house counts, and it's one house at a time. So. We talked about partnerships. I want to mention a few other people. Our folks from TD Bank, one of our longest standing Habitat partners and top partner with Habitat in Canada, along with Home Depot, and we couldn't do our work without them. They really are great people. And I wanted to thank, we thanked our board members. I want to thank, there's some family selection committee members here, if everybody could wave their hand. These are the folks, I think, no, there's a few here. These are the folks that work with the families, get them through the process along with Lee, and really get them ready for home ownership. They go through, it's very rigorous. It's just like going to school to become a Habitat family. And they do a great job with them and prepare them for home ownership. I thanked Nina from South, but I also wanted to thank a fellow named John, and I don't know if John made it, from Weeble. But he heard we needed some help putting siding and doing some other work on. He brought a whole crew from Weeble for a few days and did the siding in this house and did a whole bunch of other work. People hear the call and they want to get out and help. Vince Bogdansky's here. He's a great guy, one of London's great appraiser guys, and there he is. And Vince did the appraisal on this and the first HAL house to make sure that we set a proper and fair value for the family on it. And I wanted to thank him. And the fellow that, it's easy to ignore people, but you know, Peter Sokan was the fellow that owned this lot. Louise, I think, mentioned that she'd driven by here many times. This lot has never had a house on it. It goes back to the old municipal plan of Middlesex County before it was morphed into the City of London. It's never had a house on it. So that's pretty cool. You know, it doesn't happen very often in the City of London. But Peter Sokan was the fellow that owned this. He had it for almost 40 years. And he discounted the house and was very kind to Habitat and the family and the HAL project to get this lot in our hands. And I wanted to acknowledge him. I know he's not in the room, but I really appreciated his effort on that to negotiate that. So we've got one last little tradition with Habitat, and this is on behalf not just of Habitat this time, but the whole HAL partnership. So every home has to have one of these. If you could come up for a second. This is a fire extinguisher. You can put it wherever you want. So Romeo, could I get you to, if you want to come up, or your whole family want to come? Do you want to say anything, or wave from the other way? Everybody's waving behind you now at you, so. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Lopez, and I'm the son of Romeo and Rosalba. And now I must be honest, I'm cold and I'm nervous, and my feet, I cannot feel them. And we want to first say good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. And I want to thank my dad because he's like, well, I see all these people, and now I'm glad that you're doing the speech, you know? Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this day as much as we are. This day is a new step in our lives as we become first-time owners of a house. We want to thank first God Almighty, for we know that it was by His providence that we now have what we have, and by His will and blessings, He made this home ours. May He continue to bless us as a family and to bless Habitat for Humanity for their work to create and give opportunities to families that are looking for a better future, a better life, a new start in this city full of ups and downs. To be honest, we never imagined we would own a house in a lifetime. It never crossed our minds that we would be here giving thanks for all the people that made this dream a reality. Our hearts are grateful and obliged to you all, because you dedicated your time in building not only homes and houses, but strengthening families and relationships with our fellow men to build and provide a better future for our communities. We know that there are other families who deserve this house more than we do. Families who are struggling in an uncompassionate and uncared world full of injustice, egocentric, and greed. But I thank God for this organization, for the dedication and the hard work. We want to thank each and every person who contributed in making this house a success. From the staff of Habitat to the voluntary worker who spent his time working in our house. We thank you for your great heart, your great commitment, and the great privilege you gave us today. May God bless you and your work, and we pray that each and one of us expect with joy His second advent, His soon coming to this earth in power and glory. For He that shed His blood for us has also prepared homes for us, but not just any type of home. He has prepared us mansions that are indescribable by our finite minds and imagination. We exhort you to meditate the words of our Lord Jesus Christ, who said to His disciples, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, ye may be also." Amen. John 3, verses 1 to 3. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to all, and may God bless you all and your organization abundantly. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I forgot to read from Matthews. Can I read it? You want me to do it?
No, go ahead.
I would be remiss if I didn't do this. I almost forgot. On the way out the door, Fran handed me a fax that had come through from Deb Matthews, the MPP for this riding. And you may or may not know, but we have a brand new legislator sitting, and I think they started sitting yesterday, so she couldn't get the day off work to come join us. So anyways, Deb said, address it to all of us, the staff and the team and the volunteers and all the guests. And thank you for inviting me to the dedication of the Huron Street HAL project. The Legislative Assembly is sitting, and I'm so very sorry that I'm not able to be with you in London to give you my best wishes in person. However, I'll be with you in spirit, and I'm delighted to welcome my newest constituents to my riding. So there we go. And it's great to have you here, and please don't hesitate to give me a call, and if I can be of any assistance, that's for you. So you got direct line to the MPP now. And to everyone who's worked so hard to bring this new home together, my sincere thanks for the important work you're doing to help families in London. Enjoy the celebration. Sincerely, Deb Matthews, MPP, London North Centre. So.
Wow, huh? That kind of sums it up with a great big wow. Congratulations to all of you. We're really thrilled to be helping you get into a home, and so glad you're going to be there for Christmas. What a great Christmas present. So now it is the time to have the ribbon cutting ceremony. So if everybody would like to join us, whereabouts going to be the ribbon there? Out the front of the house? The front of the house, and then we're going to come back in for cake and coffee. I'm sure by that time we're going to need it. So if everybody could just work their way out, we're going to go do a ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you.
Yeah.